Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews, continuing with the BJCP style guidelines. We're on style 30C, winter seasonal beer, which is very, very similar to autumn seasonal beer, except it's about the winter. And for that, I got a good staple, one you can get probably in all 50 states. Samuel Adams Old Fezziwig Ale, spicy and bold. And they got the spices right on there, cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel. So I have had this one before. I first reviewed, I think, all the way back in 2008. Loved it, and then I had it again, I think in 2011. Hated it because they just went overboard on the ginger. And I may have had it here and there, but I'm going to give this a full formal re-review, and I think it's a good example of the winter, Christmas beer style. So let's get right into the category descriptors here. So 30C, winter seasonal beer. Winter seasonal beers are beers that suggest cold weather and the Christmas holiday season and may include holiday spices, specialty sugars, and other products that are reminiscent of mulling spices or Christmas holiday desserts. See the introduction to specialty type beer section for additional comments, particularly on evaluating the balance of and added ingredients with a base beer, which we did that yesterday in the autumn beer review for Good Gourd, so check that out if you haven't seen it. Overall impression, a stronger, darker spice beer that often has a rich body and warming finish, suggesting a good accompaniment for the cold winter season. And if we drop down to comments, history, all that stuff, actually, I think this is the only one of those specialties that has a history on it. You can pause and read that if you want. The comments, I think, are exactly the same as the autumn. Characters, ingredients, almost exactly the same. They just mention those evocative of Christmas season instead of Thanksgiving. And they also mention fruit peel, which you tend to get more in Christmas beers than in, fall or Thanksgiving beers or pumpkin beers, whatever. And the entry instructions, again, says they have to declare a base style, but it does not have to be a classic style. So what's interesting is that, first we had the Funky Buddha Last Snow, which was an American porter plus coffee and coconut. And that was, definitely the good hybrid of the styles. And then we had the Cigar City Good Gourd, which really is not a style at all. It's just straight pumpkin beer style. And then we have the Sam Adams Old Fezziwig, which on their website, they're calling it a spiced brown ale. So again, like on the category descriptions here, they say it doesn't have to be a classic style, so just brown ale as a general term. I'm not going to, bring up the static style guidelines for American brown or an English brown, but we're just gonna it's just kind of that je ne sais quoi factor or ephemeral factor or metaphysical. I don't know what word I'm looking for here, but I should be able to tell that this is a brown ale with the spices and a little bit more. So let's go get this in the glass and we'll get right back. All right, I got the Old Fezziwig in the glass here. Sam Adams glass. Haven't used this on camera in a while. Let's just dive right into the aroma here. So, yeah, definitely has like a Christmas cookie kind of a smell to it. Especially like snickerdoodles, because I get a lot of cinnamon in here. And the ginger is there, but it's a lot more tame than I remember. I remember other times this thing was just a ginger bomb. So, yeah, cinnamon, ginger, and they said orange peel, so there is like this kind of a slight kind of orange citrusy thing. Nothing juicy at all, just like the orange peel as kind of a background note. And again, they're calling this a brown ale, so am I getting any brown ale qualities on here? Not really. I mean, it's just kind of, dark malts, maybe slightly toasty, definitely nothing roasty. Don't mean to rhyme there. It does not smell super malty or bready or sweet. I mean, the spices are mostly doing everything. I really don't get any hops, and if there are hops, they're probably either, something spicy to kind of complement the spices, or maybe like a little bit of American citrusy ones in there. But yeah, I mean, the spices are carrying the load for the aroma, which I think is what it's supposed to do for this style. So let's check the specs and find out. Aroma, a wide range of aromatics is possible, though many examples are reminiscent of Christmas cookies, gingerbread, English-type Christmas pudding, or evergreen trees, or mulling spices. Any combination of aromatics that suggests the holiday season is welcome, I would say check on this one for that. The base beer style often has a malty profile that supports the balanced presentation of the aromatics from spices and possibly other spice ingredients. Additional fermentables may lend their own unique aromatics, while there's no additional fermentables in here. Hop aromatics are often absent, subdued, or slightly spicy. Some fruit character, often of dried citrus peel, yes, has orange in here, or dried fruit, raisins such as raisins or plums, is optional but acceptable. Alcohol aromatics may be found in some examples, but this character should be restrained. The overall aroma should be balanced and harmonious and is often fairly complex and inviting. I mean, I wouldn't call it complex per se, because I mean, mostly I'm just smelling spices here. And just kind of general bready malt, nothing distinctive like that I can put my finger on, like, oh, hey, that's, you know, toasted malt or crystal malt or whatever. But, you know, no alcohol and no particular hops. So it's nice. It's definitely, it smells like a Christmas beer, maybe an autumn beer. You know, so I'm going to go, I'll go 10 out of 12 on that. Let's check the appearance. So, you know, they call it a brown ale. It's definitely brown. I'll hold up to the light here. Beautiful mahogany color, just that deep chestnut. It's actually quite clear. I'm not sure how this is looking on camera. Had a, you know, pretty frothy head on there when I first poured it. It's sticking around too. Let's check our color on here. I probably put it about 22 to 27 SRM, and it had a nice kind of tan foam on there. It looks like it's going to stick around. So let's check the specs on appearance. Generally medium amber to very dark brown. Darker versions are more common. Usually clear, although darker versions may be virtually opaque. Some chill haze is acceptable. Generally has a well-formed head that is often off-white to tan. Well, that explains this one to a T. So I will go the full 3 out of 3 on appearance. Now for the flavor. Cheers. This one is spicy throughout. I think kind of the difference between a winter holiday seasonal and an autumn holiday seasonal is that the autumn ones, especially pumpkin beers, so they tend to be sweet and taste like pumpkin pie. The winter ones are just like all spices all the time. And that's what I'm getting this with this. Like as soon as it hit my lips, I got that ginger right away and the cinnamon. This has warmed up to a nice serving temperature, probably about 50, 55 degrees. So I can get the so-called brown ale base here. And it does taste like a brown ale. So it's got just general brown malt, base malt, slightly toasty, some Maillard. But I mean, again, the spices are still dominant as far as the flavor. So you're getting orange peel ginger and cinnamon up front. The orange peel is kind of like, you know, hiding in the background. And then as it's going down, that's when that orange peel really comes out. And it finishes with, that's when I really get the brown ale. Like it's kind of like a little bit of a malty sweetness, like, you know, real bready, nothing in the Doppelbock or Dunkelsbach kind of category, but, you know, brown ale-ish. And if this was homebrew and I'm judging this and they just put brown ale as a general base style, I would be like, yes, I get that. The only thing that's off, or not off, but just hidden is the hop flavor and bitterness. The spice, it's not super sweet malty beer. It's only 5.9 ABV. So it's, you know, pretty strong for a supermarket beer, but I mean, it's definitely not an imperial. So it's not super sticky or anything like that. So it doesn't really need a lot of hops, but again, like it's got these spices in it. So that is doing the job of the bitter balancing. Okay, yeah. So let's check the specs. Flavor. Many interpretations are possible. Allow for brewer creativity as long as the resulting product is balanced and provides some spice presentation. True. Spices associated with the holiday season are typical, as mentioned in the aroma section. The spices are optional, and optional fermentables should be supportive and blend well with the base beer style. True. Rich, malty, and or sweet malt-based flavors are common and may include caramel, toast, nutty, or chocolate flavors. Definitely get a little bit of that. May include some dried fruit or dried fruit peel flavors such as raisin, plum, fig, orange peel, or lemon peel. We get the orange peel. Nothing in the dried fruit. May include distinctive flavors from specific fermentables. They don't add that in here. All these elements are not required. A light evergreen tree character is optional but found in some examples. That would be really cool if we got one like that. The wide range of special ingredients should be supportive and balanced, not so prominent as to overshadow the base beer. Bitterness and hop flavor are generally restrained so as not to interfere with the spices and special ingredients. Generally finishes rather full and satisfying, often has some alcohol flavor. Roasted malt characteristics are rare and not usually stronger than chocolate. I think I'm gonna go 17. You know, it's within those guidelines and everything, and I don't, you know, like I just said, it's within everything. All right, so let's jump to mouthfeel. I call it medium, at least medium full. Very, very smooth texture, probably about a medium carbonation. Real smooth. I mean, it's definitely not refreshing. 5.9 ABV. Yeah, it feels like it. It does not feel like a lighter beer. And it doesn't feel like a big, huge, hefty imperial beer either. It's it's just a beer where one serving is going to be satisfying. And this would be strong enough to stand up to a holiday meal too, or just really anything. You can have steak with this if you want. Let's check the specs on mouthfeel. A wide range of interpretations is possible. Body is generally medium to full. And certain malty chewiness is often present. Moderately low to moderately high carbonation is typical, true. Many examples will show some well-aged. Warming alcohol content without being overly hot. The beers do not have to be overly strong to show some warming effects. I'm going to say it's not perfect. I will say 4 out of 5 though. I mean, it's really nice. Overall, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. That gives a total score of 43 out of 50. So yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think that it's not the greatest Christmas beer in the world, but for one you're going to get in your supermarket, it's, very drinker friendly and it lives up to the specs and, it's really well made. So yeah, 43 out of 50 for Sam Adams, Old Fezziwig. Bottles over there somewhere. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Cheers and Merry Christmas.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.